Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am introducing a new series here on my channel because I have decided to start a Shop My Stash series. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently than a lot of people that I've seen, but I'm gonna go through all of that in a second. But if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. But now let's just jump into the video. So as you know, I do a lot of product planning on this video, and what I have noticed is that I tend to focus a lot on the things that I'm trying to pan, but I am neglecting a lot of my collection. Of course I am using additional items than the ones that I am currently panning, but I tend to stick to the same items every day. So that's basically why I wanted to introduce this series, to kind of get some use out of other things in my collection. But like I said, I am planning to do this a bit differently than other people that I've seen. I saw Rebecca Morgan do this I believe one time, but I'm gonna do this kind of on a regular basis. And I also had the idea before, but I just never really felt the need to do this yet. But what it is basically that I want to randomize 5 items every month that I want to focus on. That it's not going to be any like panning goals or anything. It's just kind of to go through my collection and use them as much as I can throughout the month. And 5 is obviously not a lot of items, but since I am randomizing it, I might end up having like 3 blushes or eyeshadow palettes or something like that, and I don't want to have too many items to kind of interfere with each other. And then obviously I will kind of complement what I need from my collection to use with those randomized items as well as my project pan items. So that is basically the concept of this kind of new project. It's not a project really, it's just more kind of a video idea. But I'm gonna upload this once every month, so I'm gonna use the items for a month before I go through them, and I can give my mini review on them. And obviously if there's anything I want to declutter, I'm gonna go through that as well. So I have added in all of my items into a spreadsheet. I did end up adding all my eyeshadow palettes, all my blushes, foundations, lip liners, everything in all categories. I have decided to add all my eyeshadow palettes as one product rather than adding every single pan of eyeshadows, because as you may know, if from my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, I have about just under 500 individual pan of eyeshadows. So if I did decide to add those, I would end up having a lot of eyeshadows in this, because when I show you my numbers in a second, I don't really have nearly as many other products in my collection. So all my palettes will be kind of individual. So for example, my Modern Renaissance will be one palette, my Soft Glam one, rather than adding individual shades. So that's how I set it up, and I actually ended up having even 400 items. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and randomize. So I have my laptop here with all of the items, so I'm just gonna go and randomize 5 numbers. So the first number will be number 93. So number 93 is one of my Colourpop Super Shock shadows, and the color is DGAF. So I'm gonna go and get that in a second. The second item will be number 185. So number 185 is a blush, and the blush is from Bobbi Brown in the shade Nectar. The third item will be number 176. So number 176 is also a blush, and that is from Clinique in the shade Plum Pop. The fourth item will be number 40. And if I remember correctly, I think this will be a palette. It's not a palette, but it's an eyeshadow from one of my palettes. It's a single shadow, and the shade is Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. And then the fifth and final item for this first round will be number 264. And number 264 is a perfect summer item. It is the MAC lipstick in Crosswires. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those 5 items, and I will just show them to you. So the first item that I got was one of my Colourpop Super Shock shadows, like I mentioned, and the shade is DGAF. I really like this shade, although it is more of a fall shade because it is a bit deeper, but this is what it looks like. I'm currently trying to hit pan on as many of my Super Shock shadows in my Partisan Cream project, so this is actually quite a good item to get rolled in, because I will get a little bit of a head start on this one, adding it into this kind of project. But I'm going to swatch this and show you what it looks like. So this is what that shade looks like. It's actually not as dark as I remember. It has like a warm pinkish red base with a gold glitter through it, and I actually really like it swatching it on my hand. So I'm really happy to have gotten this shade, because like I said, remember this to be more kind of dark and bronzy, but I think this will be a really beautiful shade to add in for summer actually. So that is the first item. Then I believe the second item that we rolled was my blush from Bobbi Brown in the shade Nectar. So this is one of their shimmer bricks and it looks like this. It's like a nice kind of plummy pink blush. I will swatch this again to show you. And again, I completely misremember this. As you can see there, that is the swatch. It is of course quite shimmery because it is one of their shimmer bricks, but it is definitely more peachy than I remember, so that is again quite shocking. But I think that will be a beautiful summer shade again, or like spring summer shade, so I'm really excited to have that in. And just showing those two products, that kind of just show why I want to do this, because I haven't really reached for either of these products in ages. And I definitely misremembered how they showed up on the skin or in a swatch, so that's really good. But that is the first two items, and then I think the third item that I had was another blush, which was the Clinique Chic Pop blush in Plum Pop. So this one looks like this. I actually really like this. It's a very nice kind of blue tone pink blush, and I have used this quite a lot. I have 3 of these blushes and this is definitely my most used one of these. This one, however, I do remember what it looks like. It is definitely more of a hot pink, like I said, with a bit of a plummy undertone, but it's very much like a blue tone pink. So that is what it looks like, as you can see, and I'm really happy because even though I got 2 blushes, they are very different and I feel like they will work quite differently with different looks. Unfortunately, I am planning, well, I'm trying to use a blush currently in my Roulette Pan collab. I want to use that 15 times before the next update, and then I also am trying to use up a blush this year, which is kind of in an unofficial product pan. I showed in the beginning of the year what I'm trying to use up this year, and I haven't added into any projects yet, but I am trying to use that up. So getting another 2 blushes is a bit unfortunate, but I will only have them in for a month, so it's not too bad. So that is the third item. The next item was the single eyeshadow from Makeup Geek in Peach Smoothie, and I have that in my C palette right here, and if I remember correctly, I think it is this shade on the corner right here, and I did. So that is Peach Smoothie. I haven't used this too much. I have a few brush marks in it, as you may see, but it's not too well loved, so that is actually quite a good shade to get in. It's very powdery. It's more powdery than I was expecting, but it's just a really nice kind of pastel peach, and that's actually really beautiful for this time of year because, like I said, it is a pastel. I swatched it right there. I think it's going to work really well as a transition shade. I don't think it's going to be too light. Maybe I have to darken it up a bit with something else, but this color like kind of palette looks beautiful. I'm really excited, and it looks very appropriate for this time of year. So that is Peach Smoothie. And to finish it all off, I have my MAC lipstick in Crosswires. This one is like an orangey kind of, it has some pinkness to it too. It's like a kind of dark, kind of corally pink. It looks like that. I swatched it right there. Again, I think it's a beautiful kind of spring and summer shade, so I'm really happy to have gotten that. I could have gotten something way worse, like a vampy shade or something like that. And I do think this is a good kind of complementary shade to what I'm currently panning, because I am panning what I'm wearing today, which is a lip gloss, a liquid lipstick, which is kind of like a cooler tone pink, as well as a dark red lipstick. So this won't really interfere with any of those, and I think I will be able to reach for this quite a lot. It is more of a colorful shade, and I'm kind of panning a lot of colorful eyeshadows at the moment. So that might be the only kind of obstacle, but for days when I don't really want to wear a lot on my eyes, I think this lipstick will be something that I reach for a lot. So those were the 5 items for my first installment of this series. Please go ahead and leave your feedback down below and let me know if you're excited for this series. I am definitely excited about it because, like I said, I have neglected some of my collection for quite a long time. But I think that is it for today. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys!